Hey everybody, I'm John Granato. You can hear me mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear him Sunday mornings talking about money lines on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. He also is the editor of SportsMapHouston.com. Please hit subscribe so you get all of our content here at SportsMap. Listen, Josh, reports surfaced that Deshaun Watson has interest in Minnesota and Tampa. Of course, this is all dependent on whether or not there are criminal charges, getting through all of the crap that's going on with him. Who could put together a better deal with the Texans, the Vikings or the Bucs?
If we're talking about draft picks, it's the Vikings. Yeah. I mean, they have the number 12 overall pick. That's obviously, that's a nice pick. It's not top 5 or anything, but that's still a really nice pick. The Bucs don't have a pick until 27 overall. So I think the Vikings could put together a better package for you. That would tempt me if I'm the Texans, but the big elephant in the room is Kirk Cousins. We know he has a $45 million cap hit this year, so they would have to move him to have the cap room to take Deshaun in. So it brings up this question for me, John. Let me pose to you. Say the Vikings gave you a really nice, a whole bevy of picks. Their first this year, next year, second this year, next year, great. But you have to take on Kirk Cousins. Would you do it?
I might, just for a year, $45 million. I mean, they've got cap space. And listen, there are only 8 teams in the NFL right now that can afford Deshaun, right now under the cap, that can afford Deshaun Watson's $35 million cap hit. But now teams work out, they cut guys, they save money here and there and all kinds of stuff. But the Vikings are not one of those teams, so it'll be a difficult situation. Then they've got their dead cap money with Kirk Cousins. Now, it would not only be the number 12 overall pick. Might want Danielle Hunter. Okay, I don't think they'd give up Justin Jefferson, and I don't think Deshaun would want to go if Jefferson left. But I want good young players. I saw somebody tweet out, "Oh, really? He wants to go to the Bucs? Well, then I want Devin White. I want Tristan Wirfs. I want their picks. And I'm like, wait a minute, slow your roll. They're not giving up a whole team. And oh, by the way, there's a lot of money involved in all of that stuff as well. You can get some players. You might be able to get some young starters. You might be able to work out long-term deals with them. It's not just about draft picks. I think you could probably pick up some players for Deshaun as well.
No doubt, and that would be fantastic. This team, that's what they are starving for, are some young, talented players. That would be fantastic to bring them in. So I'll be curious to see how that goes, if Nick Caserio can swing something like that. And I think they're going to be a little more focused and motivated to get something done this time around because, Deshaun is – he's kind of got him over a barrel. They don't want to have to deal with what his cap number is going to be this year. And by the way, here in March, a little later, a few weeks away, it guarantees his salary not for this year, but also for the following year. So I think this is something where Caserio, if he can just find a deal he's happy with, don't screw around. Go ahead and get it done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And listen, you got to get him out the door as soon as possible. I don't think that there's any question. You heard Lovie Smith talking about we want to get this done as quickly as possible. It depends on the DA and the Houston Police Department. Get this deal done. His deposition is coming up. I don't think. I've heard people say, well, I don't think anything's going to come out of it. Oh, I believe there's a lot of stuff that's going to come out of it, and it's going to be hurtful for Deshaun Watson and whether or not I want that guy as the face of a franchise. We're talking, like Minnesota and Tampa are, okay, great, they want him, or Deshaun wants to go there. Are you sure they want him? Is everybody sure? Kevin O'Connell is a nice situation for Deshaun Watson, an offensive-minded coach. That'll be really, really good. He just won a Super Bowl. Everything is good. And Bruce Arians is there with Byron Leftwich, which is also pretty good. But how long is Bruce Arians going to be around? And is Byron Leftwich ready to take over everything? We shall see. So I'm not sure which situation is better. Probably Tampa for Deshaun because they know how to win. And Deshaun would walk in there. Brady's gone. Deshaun would walk in there and be on a pretty darn good team. But Kevin O'Connell is also very interesting to see whether or not Deshaun, how successful he could be with him.
Yeah, and I think to your point, do they want him? Does he want to be there? We are getting reports of mutual interest. Remember, we did a video a couple weeks ago. Remember, Jordan Schultz said that, Deshaun and the Vikings, they're the big sleeper for him. And we had just earlier this week that, Ian Rappaport was reporting that the Bucs are looking at Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. And then, of course, we had the report this week that Deshaun's interested in the Bucs and the Vikings. So maybe we get lucky and finally we get a couple teams bidding against each other, and maybe the Texans, get a nice deal out of this.
Well, wish in one hand and poop in the other and see which one fills up first, okay? Let's see. Everybody wants Deshaun that doesn't have a quarterback, but we'll see if we can get that job done.